Hello everyone, this is Enzo Eigen of the Alliance for Loki. And so people on my stream have been asking for me to make a tier list, and so I'm going to try it. I actually have never had much interest in doing it, though since people asked me to, I figured I would attempt it, and it's been interesting to think about a lot what it means to rank the characters and how it works. And so I've created sort of this board here with, I'm going to do science today. And so, for instance, if I can sort of move them around, and this is going to sort of be a working video where I'll sort of come to my conclusions as I work through my thought process with each one. And so I can sort of rank them. I'll sort of place them high or low depending on how I like them. With each character, I have the ability to add some of these icons. So U means utility, A is attack, P is prestige, and D is defense. And I would put it sort of ranking how good the character has it. So if I put it up high, that means he has great utility. Medium is sort of like average utility. At the bottom is okay utility. And if I don't include one of these letters at all, it just basically means that they don't have that characteristic. So let's go through this exercise and just see what happens. And so of course everyone agrees that Quake is like one of the most amazing players in the game. And so let's put it way up high here. I mean, she has amazing attack. So we'll put attack really high. She also has really good utility. She's not affected by nodes at all. She basically shuts down almost every node in the game. Opponents don't gain power when you play her Quake style. Of course, this is all about Quake style. Prestige, not good at all. Maybe very, very low defensive value. I mean, she's okay as a defender, but not really that great. So she gets a really high grade. The Void, he's just sitting here next. So let's take Void. Amazing utility, the way he can, again, shut down power, shut down regen, have champions reverse their regen, which is incredible. So really powerful. And also the shutting down power is incredible. His attack's okay. I would probably give him a little medium attack. Defense, maybe a fair defense. I mean, he's not the worst defensive player in the world, but so we'll give him a little bit of D. And his prestige it's okay. So we'll put that there. Who else would I sort of put in the second level? Definitely Captain America Infinity War. I think, again, super high utility. Just all the different things you can do. Good attack too. His SP2 is pretty powerful. I guess I probably have his attack here. It's not crazy attack. Prestige, again, prestige is fair. Really not any defensive ability. He's not that great. Trying to think who else is in here. Of course, I would say She-Hulk, sort of almost the same as Captain America. Really good utility. I mean, her slow mechanic is incredible. Her attack is pretty good. You can ramp up pretty high. Let's see, prestige is bad. Her defense is bad, so she doesn't get any more of those. After that, Human Torch. Human Torch is an interesting one. Again, great utility. I would say he also has great attack, can be really powerful with his attack. The difference between him and Quake is he's not quite as usable. So like Quake has just a lot more fights she can take, and that's sometimes the interesting thing about doing these tier lists. Is like there will be fights where Human Torch would be far superior than Quake, and so against like many Mystic champions, for instance. Like let's take an Ebony Maul, though I guess Quake is good against an Ebony Maul too, so maybe that's a bad example. But yeah, I mean, I think the Abyss is a good place where Quake is better. Who else do we have? I would say definitely in the second tier would be Thing, and Thing actually is one of the champions that sort of has all. He has like good utility. I mean, it's not amazing, but the way he can get his protection. Oops, don't want to make that bigger. So he's pretty good. Attack is strong, not amazing, but still pretty good. Prestige is pretty high up there. I don't know, maybe I'll put it at the top. Defense is also pretty high up there. So he gives you basically everything. He's one of the few champions, I think, that sort of has all four of these characteristics, which makes him really valuable. Other than that, trying to think who else would be in this next tier, and I think that sort of does it. So we have Quake on the top. We sort of have a second tier of these characters. And now let's see if we can sort of distinguish a third tier. Let's take Gulk. I think Gulk has some really interesting utility with the way he can shrug off with his face me. Those passive passive type of damage over time. It's really pretty incredible. Doesn't really have prestige defense. His attack is okay. I'd probably put his attack sort of a low attack. No really defensive ability, no really prestige. And I'm trying to think who else in this list would make it. I think Red Hulk would make it. Red Hulk has a really strong attack. And so he, we use him in war a lot, just can do a lot of damage with his sort of the extra incinerate damage he does is pretty powerful, and so he's really useful. I'd probably put Red Guardian 2 here, though I haven't played enough with him yet, but I'd say he has some interesting utility that's going to, I'd put his utility at the highest point just because he can do some really crazy things that no one else can do. Basically, he can block the unblockables, which I guess Mordo can do it also. Other than that, I'm trying to think if anyone else would make it next. Probably Spider-Gwen too. Again, really good utility. The slow mechanic alone gives her pretty nice utility. Her attack is okay. I think her prestige is not so good. Defense, maybe you could make an argument for defense. I mean, evade character is always a little bit annoying. And so, I'm trying to think if anyone else would make it in here from this list. I sort of want to put an Invisible Woman or Mr. Fantastic in there. Mr. Fantastic, almost because of synergies. Maybe that should have been another category I made. And so, actually, synergies and prestige. So we'll give him a low U for like good synergies, and we'll give him pretty high prestige. I think he's one of the highest sciences. I can't quite remember. So we basically have our top tier Quake, and our second tier, our third tier, and then let's just see if the rest of these have any place to put them in. Yeah, I guess I'll make one more tier. Let's just move these guys out of the way. Let's think about. I would say Wasp is probably okay for a sort of fourth tier. Wasp is an okay defender, so we'll give her a little bit defensive. We'll put her right in the middle. Excuse me. Invisible Woman, she's like interesting attack, interesting utility, more sort of a fun champion. She can miss and has a force field, which makes her a little bit interesting to play. You might even sneak her in as a defender, maybe low use as a defender. I would say Modok. We could put in this, not Modok. Average defender. I think he has some use in defender. I don't see people using him much for utility or attack, though. Really could be interesting. And then anyone else who's left over, maybe could make a play for Electro to sort of be in this as a defender. But he has so many counters nowadays, but we'll put him up there as a defender. And we'll give him sort of medium defender ability. And yeah, I think that's gonna do it for the tiers. And the rest of these characters down here, I mean, again, there's a few that are okay defenders. The spider people, I would say, are pretty good defenders. Well, not good. They can work. I mean, of course, they have, they both, well, especially this one has a somewhat difficult SP1 to deal with. And the evades. And Yellow Jacket, too, with his specials, a little hard to deal with. And then other than that, yeah, I think that sort of does it. Let me just move these guys up a little bit. Then all these guys at the bottom, I feel like they're all are interesting characters, which some of them are fun to play. Like, I love playing Luke Cage, and he has a little bit of utility, the way he can tank specials and become indestructible. That's pretty cool. The high block proficiency, you can be a god of intercept with Rhino because it's unstoppable. I mean, they all have like interesting things to them. But maybe I can make one more tier. Okay, let's see. The characters that I would like, or I find are a little bit interesting, and the characters I just don't think have much value at all. Actually, I can't separate them. I think these are all of them have some interesting things. Like Ant-Man is sort of cool. Sentry I don't really like, but I like the two Captain Americas. I'd almost even, just for old time's sake, maybe put him up there, just because he has interesting utility with his block and bleed that he can do. Might be a little bit of stretch. I mean, if I did that, I might as well put Luke Cage and Hulk up there, because you can stun lock, and Luke Cage can have the the indestructible charge, and then after that, yeah, so that's sort of I think where I'm going to end up. So okay, so yeah, I don't know how this was. Hopefully people find it interesting. I guess I'll let you know. You can let me know in the comments if you did. Yeah, I'll make another one of the next class. So the final results are sort of Quake absolutely the top, and then you sort of have a second tier row of Void, Captain America Infinity War, She-Hulk, Human Torch, Thing. And I would say the second tier, all of them have good utility, and then something else that really helps them: good attack, good prestige, good on defense. Then you sort of have a third tier of champions that can be useful in the game, that have something to them that makes them like worth bringing to war or alliance quest or content. And then you have a third tier that they have some relevance in the game. Fourth tier is, you know, maybe a small place in the game, they're useful. And then the last tier is sort of characters that they could be fun to play and they could be interesting and you could like them, but they don't really have anything in the game that really like that they shine in at all. And so they're unfortunately at the lowest point. And so there you have it. So there's my first ever tier list, and I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments if you like it. I will continue on the classes. If you thought this was terrible, you can let me know that too, and maybe I'll just give this effort up. So hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know your thoughts. This is Enzo Eigen of the Flying for Loki, wishing everyone a good day. Bye bye.